because we do have a lot to cover today. So I want to thank everyone for joining us today. Our main topic is artificial intelligence, or AI, kind of a hot topic this year. You can't go anywhere where it isn't in the news, in the newspapers, all over the place there. As I mentioned, if you just joined us, you can mute your audio and turn off your video until the Q&A at the end. You can put items in the chat, and I'll take a look at the chat after the presentation and that. The handout is out on the PC Club website in the past meetings files section. So if you want to get it right now, or if you want to get it after the meeting, you can go out there and get the handout. The agenda will cover some club status items first, and then we'll get to our main topic.
I can't get it off. Yes, it's the new.
Somebody's got their mic on. If they could mute themselves, that'd be great. Future meetings this Friday, we do have a Macintosh special interest group meeting July 21st. So if you do have an iPhone or a tablet or a Mac, that's always useful. And you're welcome to attend that. The next question and answer, we do a monthly question and answer and online. The next monthly one is August 1st, Tuesday, August 1st. And our next presentation in August 16th, will be on scams and cyber threats. So we'll talk about how to spot some of the scams, how you can use security and password management to protect yourself, and lots of other tips to help keep you safe. Officers, Jim is our president, Linda is our vice president, Paul is our membership secretary, Paula is our treasurer, Chuck is our recording secretary, Mike is our Macintosh SIG director, Andrew is our communication coordinator, I'm Tom, I'm a director at large. We do have volunteers, and then we have a little photo from the 2019 picnic, and we just had our picnic last Wednesday, our summer celebration, not officially a picnic there, but that was at the Green Mill last Wednesday. And if you were able to attend, I think we had like 36, 37 people. It was a good time, good weather, good food. And these are some pictures from the celebration. And there's pictures have been posted out to the club website also. So you can take a look out there. Oh, let's go back. I have to mention there, I have to thank Paula for all the work she did, because she's the one who made the arrangements and set things up and collected the money. And then another special thanks to Linda, who purchased the door prizes. So that was very nice there, and it was just nice to see everybody. So thanks for coming, and glad that we could get together, and it was a real nice celebration there. Members old and new, Paul Ebert is our membership secretary, and he'll send out a notice if your membership is about to expire. So if you haven't got any notices, that's a good thing. That means that you're not expiring this month, and we have different people expiring all different months. So we're not on an annual basis where in December everybody expires. It's when you join the club. Also a reminder, if you are changing your emails, be sure to notify us, because that's the way that we keep in touch and send out notices like for this meeting. If you do have suggestions for topics, you can email or talk to any of the board members. You can volunteer to present on hardware or software that you use at work or at home, or you can write an article for our monthly newsletter. And the talking to board members, when I mentioned like our August meeting, normally what we're trying to do is hold the meetings in person at 3M. So there's a limit of 20 some people that can attend in person. This month we couldn't do it because some of the main people that are needed to sign up or get people into the building, Paula and Jim, are on vacation. or not at 3M there. So we weren't able to hold this meeting at 3M. This is just an online meeting. But the next meeting and hopefully through the end of the year, if you want to attend in person, you can attend in person. You'll just have to sign up, and we'll get you into the building there. Website, we put our past meetings with our slides and handouts. I usually record the meetings, so that's available. If you miss any of them or want to revisit any meeting, go out to the club website. We also have our deal section, our monthly newsletter, and the link to it is always sent in the emails that we send out with all these notices. Okay, let's get to our main topic today, which is artificial intelligence, AI. And this is a graphic that I grabbed from the internet and put in here, and we'll talk about all these things in here. And so don't worry if you're not that familiar with it. I'll cover some of the background and some of the stuff, and hopefully we'll all learn something there. Okay, artificial intelligence by myself, Tom Kreuzer. The amount of data generated today outpaces humans' ability to absorb it, interpret it, and make complex decisions based on all that data. AI forms the basis of all computer learning and is the future of all complex decision making. And just to try and simplify things for kind of how things can a computer can simulate artificial intelligence is most humans can figure out how not to lose at tic-tac-toe. So when you start growing up, it doesn't take long for your mind to figure out how not to lose at tic-tac-toe, where to put the X, where to put the O. And so either you're going to win or you're going to tie. And that's actually quite fascinating how a person has to figure that out, because there are 255,000 unique moves in tic-tac-toe. But computers, you were able to program them, and they were able to beat you at tic-tac-toe beat or tie every single time and never lose. What is a little more complicated is far fewer humans are grand champions at checkers. Checkers, you have more pieces, you have a bigger board, and there's 500 quintillion moves. Guess what? Computers play checkers better than the best checker player in the world. Then we step up to the next game. Chess. Chess is even more complicated with all the moves and all the pieces and stuff like that. But in 1996, IBM created a supercomputer called Deep Blue, and it can beat the best world chess champion in the world. Computers are extremely efficient at calculating these combinations and permutations to arrive at the best decision every time, as long as they're given the right data, and they can do it all faster than the smartest human in the world. Okay, first a little definition. Artificial intelligence was defined in 1956 as attempting to make computers think and act based on the best data. It requires three things. So the one thing that you should come away with this, with artificial intelligence, is artificial intelligence requires these three things: a computer, data, and algorithms or code. So it requires the three things: a computer. The computer is the code or that CPU that actually accesses the data, accesses the algorithms to come up with a solution there. So you need all three of those things to have AI. Fortunately, over the last years, computing power has gone up exponentially year after year after year after year. They get smaller, faster, cheaper, And that's a good thing for AI and a good thing in general for computers. We have this massive computing power. We have an internet full of data or complex sensors, because data could be data that's out on the internet, could be sensors if it's a self-driving car, could be cameras, could be radar, could be temperature sensors, could be sensors in a vehicle. So data can come from a lot of different places, but we have an internet full of data, all these sensors, and now we have thousands of companies writing algorithms or code to process this data to try and come up with answers there. It has led to the creation of machine learning. So AI, you'll sometimes hear AI has machine learning, deep learning, predictive analytics, and now prescriptive analytics. The one thing I'll note here is AI is not robotics. So some people equate AI to robotics. Robotics is simulating actions there. To simulate those actions, though, almost all robots use some form of AI or multiple forms of AI to do their actions. But AI, by its definition, is not robotics. Okay, continuing on with what is AI. In recent months, you've probably heard on the news and things like that, OpenAI's Chat GPT. That's a chatbot that's exploded onto the scene ever since November of last year, and especially the first part of this year. Uh, and OpenAI is a company. You can't buy stock in it. Money was donated to it by Microsoft, by Elon Musk, a number of parties to develop this algorithm or code to process large amounts of data and be able to spit it back out. It was followed by AI versions of Microsoft Bing, which is a search engine, and we'll go through some of this, and conversational Bard AI that Google provides. AI has the potential to transform every corner of society. And this is a quote from Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates. It will change the way people work, learn, travel, get health care, and communicate with each other. And this is one of those statements that I'd say is kind of an understatement because it truly will change everything. It's going to change it more than the computer chips, the personal computers, the smartphones, the things like that. AI has the potential of impacting everything. This is a statement. Not all AI chatbots are built the same. So some people will assume that there's one AI. There isn't one AI because there's so much different data, what data you put in, what hardware or computer you're using, and then what algorithms you're using. There's all different forms of AI all over the place. ChatGPT is the one that's been in the news, and ChatGPT uses GPT-4 and versus 3.5, which is a free version. And GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. Basically, all it means is it's able to take a huge amount of data, load it in, and if you ask it a question, it can kind of spit things back out to you. And it'll try and find the best answer there. And it has the potential of learning. So it learns from its mistakes and things like that. So it's pretty exciting there. Bard is currently in beta. So if you go out to Google, you can actually use Bard. Bing is free. It requires people use Microsoft Edge browser. And ChatGPT there's a free version that you can use. But if you want higher availability, faster performance, and a newer version of ChatGPT, you can pay $20 a month right now to use it. But let's take a quick look at some of this stuff that's out there. So let me see. Yeah, got to hit the right key here. Where am I here? Let's go here. So first we'll go to ChatGPT. I've logged in. You can create a free account out here, and when you create a free account, you can send a message to it, and then ChatGPT will respond back. Since we have limited amount of time, I'm pulling up some previous questions that I put in from previous presentations that I've given to other groups. But here's an example. So I typed in here, can you help me draft an email to my boss letting her know that I have a doctor's appointment and will have to leave in the middle of the workday? And this is what it came back with. Sure, I'd be happy to help you draft the email to your boss, letting her know. And so it created a sample email for me in here. And it's a very nice email, better than I could do myself. And it did it in less than a second. I hope this email finds you well. I wanted to let you know I have a previously scheduled doctor appointment at fill in the time. I will have to leave in the middle of the workday to attend it. I apologize for the inconvenience it may cause. I will make sure to finish my work, blah, blah, blah. But it's very nice there. So that's an example there of it coming back. Here I can converse with it and I can say, I have a big presentation today. Can you give me some motivation on getting fired up there? And here's a bunch of things that it's doing or telling me that I can do to get myself motivated for the presentation. Great thing there. Oh, here I put in, can you make a grocery list with basic groceries? Sure, it came up with all these items on a grocery list that it can put in here. Great. Can you give me a caption for a selfie on Instagram? Well, here's some various captions, even with emojis there, for if I wanted to do it. Okay, I want to increase my stamina when running. Do you have treadmill workout suggestions? And it comes up with a big program there that I can use. So those are some sample questions. Actually, I got these sample questions out of, I think PC Magazine had an article, just to give you a flavor of how it can do things. But you can literally put in anything under the sun. So I think I've got a couple other ones here. Tell me a joke about rabbits, and it'll tell you a joke about rabbits there. Here's one. If you're working in Excel and you're trying to figure out how to get the 2 digits from the current month, well, it tells you there's the formula, and then it gives you the explanation. This is how it's working. This is what it does. This is what it does here. Here's more of an open-ended one. When should I buy a new smartphone? And it says the decision to buy a smartphone ultimately depends on the individual needs, but it gives some of the factors that you want to consider in doing it. Let's go here. Let's see here. So this is an example here. You can ask it, what smartphone should I buy? And it goes over those same questions, things to consider there. And then I continue the conversation with it, and I say, well, I'm only looking to spend up to $400. And it'll say, well, based on that budget, here's a bunch of phones that look pretty good here, that look okay there. If you listened in on the Q&A earlier this month, I explained that I did buy a new smartphone, and the smartphone in the store that they had, the cheaper smartphone, was a Samsung A14. I asked about the Samsung A14 here, and you can see that in this case, the data loaded into this chat bot is only data updated through September 2021. So it doesn't even know about the Samsung Galaxy A14 model. So getting back to our discussion about what is AI, well, it's a computer of some sort. It's data, and then it's an algorithm. Well, in this case, the data for ChatGPT is only data loaded up through September 2021. So if you asked it who's going to win the Super Bowl or any current event, it doesn't know diddly squat about any current event there. So those are just some examples. Oh, here's an interesting one I got a kick out of on the radio I heard. This was talking about find me a 3-day vacation for $500 that includes hotel and food. And this is what it came back with. So it comes back with some excellent suggestions. So think of AI or a chat bot as your friend or that knows a lot about everything. You can ask it anything. And you can see here I asked them, this was when the NBA Finals were going on, I asked them, who's going to win the NBA Final? Well, as an AI language model, I have the ability to predict the future. I don't have the ability to predict the future and outcome. Plus, it even doesn't even know which teams are in the finals since it doesn't have the data. And it doesn't know how to forecast the weather because it doesn't have the data, doesn't have the September data there. And then here, how can I make $1 million? Well, it'll tell you how you make $1 million. Live below your means, do these various things. Here, write me a note for Mother's Day. And it writes a sweet note for Mother's Day there. So you can do anything in the world there. So this is ChatGPT that we were in. Another option I talked about was within Microsoft. So let's go to, I have IE open here somewhere. So this is Internet Explorer, Microsoft Internet Explorer. And within Microsoft Internet Explorer, since the first of the year, Microsoft has added this little icon up here called Discoverer. And Discoverer is Microsoft's AI. It's also using ChatGPT. So if you click on it, this brings it up, and it has a different interface. You can still ask questions in that, but you can first decision you have to make is what conversational style do you want? Do you want it to be more creative, more balanced, or more precise? So you have that option of what you want there, but you can start asking it questions. Let's do the what smartphone should I buy? And depending on the system can get bogged down and pretty slow at times because again, this is a free system. So this is going through and coming up. So it came up with a short answer here. Let's scroll up here. There are a great many smartphones available on the market. The best smartphones for you depend on your budget, needs, and preferences. Then it lists some of the more popular phones here, and has some links. The nice thing about this version of ChatGPT is it's telling me kind of in footnotes where it got the information. So this is telling me it pulled some of the information from PC Magazine, some from Consumer Reports. I can just get the stuff from Bing, MSN. So I can do that. I can further clarify this. So it's as if I'm having a conversation with it. So I can say, pay less than $400. And it'll come back and tell me the phones that it found out there that are good for under $400. So you can create or you can have this conversation, ask it anything, do anything, and all this is free. It's not costing me anything to do it. So I highly recommend people start trying this stuff and do it. So you can learn about it there. AI can answer questions on almost any topic, including finance, health, healthcare, technology, you name it. There's also a class of these AI implementations that are what are called conversational bots. And the conversational bot it's as if you're sitting next to a person. They provide mental stimulation and companionship. So they'll ask you questions that you respond to, you ask it questions. It's a two-way conversation, and quite interesting there. AI is far from perfect today. It makes factual errors and sometimes spits out baffling results. AI does not have to be perfect to be useful. It just has to provide a better solution than what it's replacing. And I'll talk a little bit later, but the example is a self-driving car. Self-driving cars are never going to be perfect, and there'll always be accidents with self-driving cars. But as long as the cars are safer than the average person, that's the reason to use the technology. Or people will say, I'm not getting in a self-driving car. And I said, well, have you ever been on an airplane? 99% of your airplane flight is done with AI. It's on autopilot. The only thing that may have a little bit of manual intervention is the takeoff and the landing. Everything else is handled automatically. A pilot basically just sits there in case there's a problem. AI, over time, it can learn and improve to provide the best solution available. And I didn't show it back there on the Bing and that, but uh, uh, both on ChatGPT and the Bing AI there, as I'm conversing with it, the software is looking to see whether I'm asking more probing questions or if it's correct or not correct. So it learns from its mistakes. It learns from somebody saying this isn't right or I believe the answer is this. It'll start learning from that. So over time, it'll learn and improve and provide the best solution available. To become good at a task or a job, we as humans, so before computers and we spend years going to school. So you spend 12 years going to grade school and high school. You read books, you apprentice, you intern to learn these things, to learn how to do different things. AI can acquire more advanced subject knowledge. It can respond in seconds. It can do it for free or a fraction of the cost of what a human being would cost to train and go through school and still not be as knowledgeable as an AI can be. Let's talk about some examples. So AI has been around. The phrase was coined in 1956, but there was actually AI examples being built prior to 1956. But I pulled out a bunch of examples that I've loved over the years and have used over the years. And one of the early ones was spelling and grammar. In the early days of the spell checkers, the AI was just looking through a list of words and kind of giving you that thumbs up or thumbs down on, yes, this was in my dictionary, or no, it was not in my dictionary. Now they've gotten to the point where they'll autocorrect your misspelling. They can respond to voice. They can suggest words. They can predict your next words. So it's come a long way there. When I started at 3M, almost everybody had at their desk a dictionary and a thesaurus. You certainly don't see those anymore. There's no need to. AI has replaced all of that, built into Microsoft Word, built into websites, built into all kinds of products and tools. Another example that I really like is to create, fix, and improve photos, video, and voice. And let's take a quick demo of that. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time because we've talked about some of this stuff before. This is an example of taking a photograph, and this is my parents' wedding. And they were married in 1952. This is, well, here, let's play it. Let's get it a little bigger. So this is their wedding photo from 1952, a black and white. And I ran it through a free package that took that picture. And let's go to the next one. This is the before. And colorized it. Colorized it, sharpened it. And when it colorized it, it knows that bricks tend to be brown. Wall, it made white. If it were sky, sky is blue. It knows how to color things, and it colorized this, sharpened it, and I think did a fabulous job there. And this was all for free. Yes, in years past, I could have used a package uh, uh, like Adobe Photoshop. I could have spent hours and not come up with anything that looked near as good as this. This was done in seconds, was done for free. Just fabulous what it can do. Here's another example. This cutie over here is me. That's my sister and that's my older brother there. We're sitting next to our house. And there's the colorized version. So it knows to make the grass green, bricks kind of brown, things like that. Sharpens it up. Uh, Great use of artificial intelligence to save hundreds or thousands of hours, because literally I went through and colorized and sharpened thousands of pictures that I had. This is one my sister had, and I had never even seen this or don't recall ever seeing this picture because my parents only had one copy and they gave it to my sister. And so my sister had this, and she brought it out last year for Father's Day. She was showing it to my dad, who's still alive. Uh, but the photograph has some holes in it, and but it's a nice photo there. And I told my sister, I said, okay, I'm going to fix it here. And what I did is I ran it through the artificial intelligence. First thing I did is sharpened it, got rid of the holes in there, so filled in that area. Then I colorized it. And again, to me, it's incredible what the packages can do that years ago you wouldn't be able to do at all or would have taken you a long time. This is one of my great grandmother and great grandfather from 1921, I believe. So this is their wedding photo there. This is the next evolution that you had in photos. So sharpening, colorizing, that was kind of the first step. This was the second step where you could take any photo and it would capture the face off of the photo. And with that face off of the photo, let me see if I can do. Here's my grandmother here. And let's do this. Let's play it. It created a little video of her head moving there. With one photo, taking it, automating it, and nothing to it. I mean, again, it just flabbergasts me what can happen there. Let's go here. One more thing in the photo area. Let me go here. Where am I here? This is another one you've probably seen me show. Here I uploaded a picture of myself, and it took me and put me in all of these different positions here. So here I am as a Norse king there. So I'm ready for Game of Thrones or anything like that. You can there's all kinds of historical things that you can put yourself into. I like the Norse king here. So it takes a photo. I've never had a beard, never had a mustache. Adds that in, adds stuff in there. Let's say I wanted to be an 18th century France as a female. Well, here I am as an 18th century France as a female there. Here I am as a Confederate general here. Here's me as a general. Here I am in Van Gogh, in a Van Gogh painting. Here, let's do Arctic. I'm an Arctic explorer here. Here's me in my early days. So you can take all this stuff. That's all done with AI. So that was done a couple of years ago. This is the latest thing that just came out like 6 months ago is Deep Story. And Deep Story, let me pause that. Let's go down here. I want to find a different Deep Story. This is where you upload a photo and then you create essentially a slideshow of your you can do your family history narrated by somebody who died 100 years ago, or for that matter 200 years ago. If you have a photo, if you have anything there, it'll create an animation of that person. It'll let you pick the voice to use there. So you can do all of this. And let me go here. Let's pick, we won't show all of it, but.
Hello there. My name is Oliver Wilson. Let me tell you how I got to meet the love of my life. During World War I, Amanda Burns worked in the Royal Army Clothing Department in Old Kent Road, London. Her job was cutting leather soles for soldier boots. At the time, I served on the Western Front in the 62nd Division. My chaps and I fought in the Second Battle of the Marne. I was slightly injured, and only when the battle was over, I realized that there is something constantly bothering me in the sole of my left shoe. As it happens, Amanda decided to slip a note into one of the boots in the factory, and of all people, it ended up in mine. The note said, "Greetings, my hero. I have no doubt you will prevail. I am..."
And we don't have to listen to the whole love story, but you can use this service for free out on MyHeritage. And this is something that would have cost probably hundreds, if not thousands, of hours to produce with highly complex software and artists and that. Now you can do it for free. And you can take anything and automate it there. Put in voice if you wanted an English accent, a French accent, a German accent. You can create all this stuff. So it's, to me, it's just incredible, and that's why you probably have the Screen Actors Guild is a little concerned now that AI may be replacing them in movies and that, because why do I need to have a Tom Cruise? I can simulate a Tom Cruise, don't have to pay him anything, and I can create a movie. So the technology has come a long way with the capabilities there. But let's continue on. So current AI examples, another one that I'm sure all of us have used is you've used in your car to find the route. Well, in the early days, the routes, it was quite remarkable for it to tell you the route. But nowadays, not only does it tell you the route, it takes into account accidents, construction, special events, weather, and traffic. So if you're not familiar with like Google Maps is getting real-time data from every user of Google Maps, telling, and it lets Google Maps know how fast the cars are moving on that section of the highway to predict how long it's going to take you or to give you alternate routes. And that to me, again, just blows my mind, the computing power that's used, the algorithms that's used, and the data that's collected to figure all that stuff out. Self-driving cars. Cars are getting better and better every day. Again, AI doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be better than the average human driver. So human drivers plow into the back of semi-trucks and get killed. That's a bad thing. I'm not in favor of that, but with AI has the potential of learning, adding more sensors, more data, changing the algorithm to fix things so that it gets better and better and better, and is so much better than the average human person. Search engines. Search engines in the past, kind of like the spell checkers, usually just went through a list of words and stuff like that to show you possible links. Now search engines are using a large language model or an LLM to produce sentences that mimic human responses, to be able to take your misspellings, to do all kinds of things. So think of it as autocorrect on steroids. Windows itself, so Windows for the last couple of versions, version 10 and 11, have built-in support for AI functions like machine learning. It's built in, there's an API in there for putting stuff in and getting some stuff back out. It's a matter of balancing this intrusion with the helpfulness. I personally myself, I don't know if anyone remembers Microsoft Clippy Assistant. This was Microsoft's attempt to do a little AI. It was a paper clip that was up on the screen, and it would kind of move across the screen and try and help you do certain functions within Microsoft Word. Didn't go over real well, and Clippy only lasted, I think, one version there, and they ended up taking it off. Clippy's functionality is built into Word, but they just don't use the icon and the way that it moved around and interacted with people. ChatGPT, we've talked about that. That's kind of the thing that exploded this whole AI, is close to or is past the 1950 Turing test. The Turing test, if you're not familiar, is a test that was developed to try and see if a computer could be indistinguishable from a human being. So you wanted to try and fool a panel of judges into thinking that it was human. This was accomplished through a combination of natural language, dialogue management, and social skills. So computers now can have conversations, and for the most part, people don't know whether there's a human on the other end or there's a computer on the other end, which means that in the future, virtually all support, when you call a number to try and get support, or you go into an online chat and are trying to talk with Xfinity or with AT&T, you're going to be dealing with these computers. Smart home devices like Alexa have just, I'm a big fan of Alexa and all the capability it has, but all that was done with artificial intelligence, the voice recognition, the dialogue talking back, the figuring out the answers, things like that. That was all done with AI. Another example is robots. A robot can learn to walk by trying thousands of moves. So a robot, if it has legs, you have motors in the joints. Well, you can go through thousands of these moves, and when it finds a move that doesn't work, or it tips over or falls down, it discards it. So just like a baby learning to walk, these robots and that can do self-learning. They can learn what works, what doesn't work, throw out the stuff that doesn't work, just keep the stuff that does work and keep improving there and get better and better. Rumba vacuum. A lot of people have a robot vacuum and a Patriot missile. These are autonomous in performing a task. They're given a task to do, but after that point, they don't need any help. The unit itself figures out if it's vacuuming your apartment. Gee, I ran into a leg, or I ran into a table. Oh, maybe I'll mark it so I don't run into it again. Or should I back up, try and turn here? What should I do? It knows how to get around these things. So as it encounters things, it responds to obstacles, problems, unforeseen circumstances. Smartwatches, a lot of stuff that they do. Doctors, today doctors go to school for years and then they go to intern and they learn as much as possible. And AI has access to the best and new data available to make the best decision, better than any doctor in the world. Who wouldn't want to have the best qualified doctor AI? Okay, so those are examples and some things there. Now we'll transition into friend or foe is artificial, and I got a kick out of this little comic here, The Circle of Life in AI. So we start up here. Humanity researches AI. Humanity perfects AI, creates this AI deal. AI perfects itself. This is that machine learning and prescriptive and that. AI enslaves humanity. So it takes over humanity and figures, well, why do I need the humans anymore? I can do everything myself. Fortunately, there's a solar flare from the sun, and that disables all AI. And then the people on Earth rejoice to the sun god that killed AI. So that's just a little comic there. I'm not in favor of killing AI. Excuse me, I got a tickle in my throat. This is from a 2023 AI Index report that asked people from 28 countries if they agree with the following statement. Products and services using AI have more benefits than drawbacks. So this is a list by country of the responses of if they think AI is more beneficial than drawbacks. Excuse me. Chinese respondents were the most likely to agree than any other country at 78%. They believe that AI is the future and ready to go right now, followed by Saudi Arabia and India. At the bottom of the list, we have us Americans. 35% of Americans, amongst the lowest in the surveyed countries, agree that products and services using AI had more benefits than drawbacks. I don't know where people live or what they do, but they obviously don't know what's going on. The only countries worse than the US were Netherlands, Canada, and France. They're the least positive sentiment towards AI. Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak and OpenAI co-founder Elon Musk are among the more than 2,000 tech luminaries to sign an open letter calling on all AI labs should immediately pause for at least 6 months the training of AI systems. Yeah, personally, that's a joke. It's a joke there because to take a pause would require the entire world to pause, which isn't possible, number one, and will not happen. So these are I would say misguided people. It would only hurt the companies and countries that pause. We do need new laws. We do need new regulations. We do need new treaties to reap the benefits of what AI has. But we must also watch and manage all these risks, the benefits against the risks. What are some of the risks of AI? Well, the biggest one in AI is what's called hallucinations. These are misunderstandings of your question or blatantly wrong answers. AI is only as good as the data that's loaded and the algorithm that's used. We used to call that in IT where I work, GIGO, garbage in, you feed it garbage data, you're going to get garbage out. So if you feed it false information, you get false information out. If it's loaded with bad data, an AI will err with confidence the same as a human does with bad or limited training. So you wanna get rid of those hallucinations there. You also have something called algorithmic bias. This is caused by bad data, limited data, or bad code. There's no such thing as perfect code. There's always a limitation and where you get your data, your source your data. Is it current? Is it not current? Are you getting it from sensors? Are those sensors accurate? Where is the data coming from? Another is deep fakes and scams. So those photographs, if I want to make it look like somebody said something or somebody was at the signing of the Declaration of Independence, I can easily create that because the tools are out there. Would have taken Photoshop and a lot of work and stuff like that. Now I can change any photo, any video, any voice, any text to anything that I want, and it's easy to do. This is a big one. I haven't seen it brought up that much, but this is going to be the thing to me that's going to hold back a lot of AI is data privacy and copyright. Because when you load these chat bots and stuff like that with data, Where did the data come from? Who owns that original data? And not only is it the original owner of the data, but as I interact with that artificial intelligence is learning from me. So should I get paid money? Right now, the developers of ChatGPT and Bing and that are just so happy that people are using the system because the system is learning and they're not having to pay anybody to test it out, to put in their input, to say what's working and what isn't working. So they're getting it all for free. So these are huge issues that have yet really to be talked about. Cybersecurity, code generation can fall into the wrong hands. Human jobs replaced. AI will improve or replace almost every job or task that we do today. That's a fact. Market volatility. Data or answers can change over time. What's the lag to get the new data in? Weapon autonomization. No human moral judgment in AI. If it's going to send out the nukes, who wrote the program? Where's it getting the data? This includes AI can be a tool to improve or replace almost every job or task that we do today. Goldman Sachs said that AI could automate 25% of the entire labor market, but could automate 46% of administrative jobs that we have today, 44% of the legal jobs, 37% of the architecture jobs, and engineering professions. AI is the least threatening to labor-intensive careers like construction, installation, repair, and maintenance. Goldman Sachs anticipates that displaced workers will become reemployed in jobs that emerge as a direct result of widespread AI adoption. Jobs that have a clear, understandable rules are the easiest to train in AI. PC Magazine lists the 10 jobs that will disappear or be scaled back. Accountants, content moderators, legal assistant, proofreaders, traders, transcribers, graphic designers, customer service, soldiers, and writers. I got a kick out of this one when I heard it. AI has replaced fortune cookie writers. In the past, a number of these fortune cookie writers were paid 75 cents to write a fortune. Well, now the company is actually using AI to generate the fortunes, and it's getting them for free. I guess we're no longer going to need fortune cookie writers. Robot lawyers are banned from court. Company planned to use AI-powered software in court to listen to arguments and come up with defendant responses, but the lawyers said the technology powering the program, which runs on a smartphone, is not legal in most courtrooms. So leave it to lawyers to make sure that they don't lose their job, but it's going to affect everything. AutoGPT was created on March 30th, 2023 to complete even more advanced tasks with fewer prompts. Here I mentioned you're all welcome to be I'm a Thomas, to be a doubting Thomas about AI. Question things, ask things, figure out. There will never be one AI that does everything and is correct. Today, robots do 1 to 2 tasks. In the future, they'll do thousands of tasks with great precision. And this is just an example of a PDF summarizer AI that will take a PDF file and summarize it for you. These are 7 things to try if you do get into AI. I went through that pretty fast. They had a lot to copy. Let me see if I can get back here and stop sharing. So let's stop sharing. Let me get to my Microsoft Teams. Let me turn on my camera. We'll take a look at the chat. And if you do have a question, you can unmute yourself and show your video if you want. Let's take a look here. Go ahead and let me pick it up. Got to head to another meeting. I'm not a doubter. I downloaded the ChatGPT, got an itinerary for 3 days in the Twin Cities, and took some of the suggestions when guests were in town. So yeah, you can use it for anything under the sun, and uh, companies like 3M will adopt it because it can essentially get rid of all the accounting departments. So the accounting department today, what they do is they respond to questions about the financials. Well, if I take and load all of 3M's financial data into a system like ChatGPT, I can then ask questions and come up with solutions uh, without having an accounting department. So the future to a lot of this stuff is pretty exciting and also pretty scary because if you're an accountant, you better start figuring out what value are you going to add to the organization. Questions, comments? Oh, Paula asked the question, how recent is the data if you pay? So ChatGPT, it was loaded with data from September 2021, whether you pay or don't pay. The difference between the paid, you can pay $20 a month for the paid version. The paid version uses newer code, doesn't use newer data, because as most of you are probably familiar, the most inaccurate information out on the internet is the information that is fairly recent. So if I'm asking about some recent events or stuff like that, there's a lot of fake, false, misleading information. After a year or so, data is better. And so there's enough fake data or false answers that come out of these AIs that they don't want to have an influence there. How did I know that the data was from 2021? If you'll notice, let me go back here. Let's go back here. I think I had the question here. Where is, oh no, I guess, yeah, I think it might have been a question I put. Let me go to IE. So if well, let's see. I don't know if it says it here. In a number of its responses, it'll tell you that the data there, where it has some of the data. And so a good chat, a good conversational bot will tell you how current and the listings, the footnotes on where the data is. It'll tell you where it's getting information there. Now, some of the information is 2023 data, but that's only that's nothing that the only data, it wasn't data that was loaded from Wikipedia. It was data that was loaded from vendors there. But in general, if you look at yeah, and I forgot where it's located now. Yeah, I don't see it right here. Yeah, so here you can see I asked it about the Samsung A14. As of my last update in September 2021, there were no Samsung Galaxy A14 model. So it's saying I don't have anything more current there. So that's how it was telling you, and it'll explain that. Okay, let's see. Paula says, I use ChatGPT on my phone, but how do I use it on my PC? All you do is go out to the site on your PC, use any browser, and you do have to create an account. If you're going to use the free or the paid, you create an account, go out to the ChatGPT site, and you can ask questions. You can do anything there in any browser. If you don't want to sign up for an account, then it's a case of you can use Microsoft Internet Explorer. Microsoft Internet Explorer is available on any of the machines. And again, just by clicking up on the top right-hand corner in all the Microsoft Internet Explorers, you'll be able to bring up this window and use Microsoft, which is using ChatGPT in the background also. Doesn't mean you're going to get the exact same answer because, again, it's dependent on what data is loaded in and how they've tuned that. Again, all AIs are a combination of a computer of some sort, data of some sort, and then an algorithm or code of some sort. So even though they're using the same code base, this Chat GPT, if you have different data, which they have different data, you're going to get different answers. Okay, let's see. Bonnie says, would feel a lot better if the responses were footnoted with source information. Use the Microsoft IE, that footnotes it. Also, if you use the paid subscription for ChatGPT, it will list its references, and that's $20 a month for that. So there are stuff out there. Now, what's going to happen is, just like the search engines, Bing, Microsoft Bing and Google. That's the reason that Google contributed so much money to the company that owns ChatGPT. The company that owns ChatGPT is a company called OpenAI. Can't buy stock in it, privately held. Microsoft is given billions, Google is given billions, Apple is given billions for the rights to use the code. Over time, you're going to see it built into search engines, built into websites, built into all kinds of things there. Okay, Google invited me to join their workspace lab. If you join and then decide to quit, you can't get back in again. Yeah. So what you have to realize is, like what I talked about before, whenever you use any of these chat excuse me, any of this AI software, you're giving them the rights to use your questions, your responses, whether it's a thumbs up or a thumbs down. That's telling the system that's good, bad, and with the bad stuff, it won't use it. Or if it gets enough people saying that it's bad or inaccurate, it'll flag it as not valid anymore and create a better answer there. So you're improving it. You're not getting paid, but you're helping them out to make a better product there. John says, I've read articles about concerns of false info created by AI and talk of laws to address this, but I worry about people passing laws with little understanding of AI and doing things with certain political biases. Yeah, that's certainly the issue, and you're always going to have that, and that's why personally I'd like to see the government stay out of this, because in most cases they don't know what they're talking about and are going to do more harm than good. If there is a company that is spreading false, switch to another company which is not spreading false. That's the easiest way. And as an example, you'll hear on the news them talking about for people trying to steal, scams and stuff like that, doing stuff. So they built into some of these bots the ability to not respond to those types of questions. But that hasn't stopped the scammers, because guess what? The scammers created their own chat bot, and their own chat bot lets them do anything that they want. So out on the dark web, I can go out there and let's say I want to write a virus that does this. It'll generate the code. It'll tell me the things that I have to do, and it's all out there. And so AI didn't create this mess. AI just makes this mess easier to do. And there's people that'll say, well, for the fake photos and the fake videos, let's put a flag on there, flagging it as fake. Well, they don't understand how ridiculous that is, because if you put a flag in the file, let's say it's a photo, and I put a attribute out there, and because there are attributes or tags or XF information, if I put something out there that says this is a fake, do you know how long it'd take me as a hacker to remove that or change that? A nanosecond, 1 nanosecond, I could change it. So somebody who thinks, oh, let's put a flag out there and that'll identify. Okay, how successful are we at blocking telephone numbers? How successfully are we at blocking emails? How successfully are we at blocking text messages? Uh, you can't do it. You can't do it unless you deem somebody to be the police. And I don't want to live in a state that has somebody as the gate holder or the police, because they're going to do more harm than the hackers and everybody else. That's my soapbox. Okay, let's see. People passing. Talk about addressing that. Bonnie says, my concern with how lazy people get, I understand. When Lotus 123 generated spreadsheet, people took the answers as fact. In fact, it was only as good as the data in. Yep, garbage in, garbage out. That's a good deal. I've also heard the analogy, too, of back in the days before spreadsheets, you had people using a calculator and a tabular pad. Well, you had a tool like Excel or a spreadsheet come along, and that made accountants' jobs. You got rid of quite a few accountants there. This is what AI is doing. You're giving tools to people that used to be harder to do or would take a specialty. Now you're giving that capability to anybody there. So there's a lot that you can do. So Richard asked, but how can you tell the truth from false? How do you tell the truth from false today? That's a general question. Is some things, yes, you can say are absolutes, but then other things, let's use an absolute. An absolute is the world flat? Well, any sane person would say that the world is round. But guess how many articles are out there and how many people believe that the world is flat? Are you going to change their mind no matter what information you give? You're going to have a percentage of people that will disagree with you. Who's right? Who's wrong? And that's an absolute truth. So we've had all that stuff today. AI is just giving you access to this information much easier, much faster, package it in such a way. Instead of doing a Google search today and maybe getting back 1,000 responses, it's trying to pick the best one. Doesn't mean that you notice I said it's trying to pick the best one. Doesn't mean that it is, doesn't mean that it's true, but hopefully over time it becomes better. Now, an example of it getting better that I use is, okay, today we have people that'll look for x-rays to look for cancer of the lung. The way you look for cancer of the lung is you look at the x-ray, and a good technician knows certain things to look for. Well, I can take an AI model, I can train it on thousands of images and millions of images, and it can become the best person in the world to look at these x-rays and detect which are cancerous and which are not cancerous. So I'd rather have AI looking at that and telling me this is cancerous, this is not cancerous, than, let's say, the person who was just hired and has a minimal amount of training, and that I want the best. And with AI, we can get the best. And right now, if it's not the best, it can learn. And maybe in a month, maybe in 2 months, whatever, it's gotten to the point where it's better there, and everything gets better. Okay. Other questions, comments? Let's see. Let's see here. There's a lawyer in New York that supposedly used ChatGPT to write the brief cases for a case. It cited several prior court rulings in favor of a client. The judge got suspicious, checked it, none of it was real. And that happens today. I mean, AI isn't the culprit. People just assume that if it was printed out, it's got to be true. And that's why I say everybody should be a doubting Thomas. Now, that doesn't mean that you doubt that the world isn't flat. There's certain things that are absolute, but there's certainly a lot of things that you can have a problem with. Maybe it's okay as long as the lawyer edit proof. And I don't know if there was the article too that talked about using like a chat GPT to go through college. And chat GPT graduated from college, created all the papers, passed all the tests, graduated from college. So that's the level that it's at right now. It's only going to get better. But certainly data is the key, data and the algorithms. And the algorithms is how do you put that data out there to make it accessible and useful there. The fake deal is, well, I shouldn't say fake deal, is kind of interesting. This goes back 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago. I got a text message from a friend of mine that said he watches Channel 2 Almanac, and at the end of Almanac they have a question, and the question that they asked people to respond to was there was a world record set by 2 St. John students in 1978. What was the record? And he had responded, and they actually played his video and response on there. And he was trying to see if his other friends knew what the answer was. And I had gone to St. John, so I went out to Chat GPT. I put in the information. It immediately came back and said 2 of the students had helped with the Gossamer Condor, which is a human-powered flight deal, and that put them into the Guinness Book of World Record. And they were students in 1978. And so I sent that to him, and he goes, wrong, that's wrong. And I said, no, that's not wrong. That's a fact. That's not the answer that Channel 2 was looking for. Channel 2 had a different answer. Now, Channel 2 didn't use Chat GPT. They had their own research staff and came up with an answer that said, I forgot what it was, the longest preposition sentence in the world is what the answer was. And I said, well, no, this other is true too. It's just Channel 2 picked one thing and ChatGPT picked a different thing. And when I tried to research this answer on the preposition, it had no information about it. And it turns out that where Channel 2 was getting its information from was the St. Cloud newspaper. Well, chances are ChatGPT was not loaded with the St. Cloud newspaper article that talked about these St. John students. So as far as ChatGPT knew, it didn't know anything about that Guinness Book of World Record. It knew this other world record that was set. So there's an example there of who's right, who's wrong. It depends, but you can't always count on AI as being perfect. Like I say, AI doesn't have to be perfect to be useful. It just has to be better than what the average human would do there. Okay, other questions? we've gone over quite a bit, but I love talking about this, and it gets me excited there, and that. Uh, yeah, Bonnie says source data to help discern truth from false. Source data is even hard because certainly nowadays people will reference all these other articles, and uh, again, I can cite numerous articles or things like that that say that the world is flat, and so it starts becoming this. Well, this is what I believe. This is what you believe, and seeing an image of a person speaking and it's not true is scary. And I'm not looking forward to the next election season. People believe they what they see and hear. The majority of people do not watch the news. That's a fact. They don't watch TV. They don't get their information from TV. They get their information from little sound bites on Twitter, on Facebook, and nobody has ever put any stock in the credibility of what gets published out there. So you do have it's kind of scary people making decisions. I would prefer that there be uh, a little test before you vote to make sure that you are at least a little bit knowledgeable. But that's not the way our voting system works. Other questions or comments? Now, thankfully, in our system, so if I put up something that truly was untrue, uh, the repercussions right now is I can get sued. If they can track me down, I can get sued. Now, the danger there is, let's say, like an election. If I publish this the day or two before the election is to take place, even though I win a lawsuit, that doesn't mean that it didn't influence the election in some way. So you always have things like that. But uh, what really concerns me nowadays is, and I don't want to get political and get people, but it's truly a case of I want people to be a doubting Thomas. Look at both sides of the issue. If somebody says that this is a issue that should come up with an A, if there's other people that think that B is right, do some research, do some checking, do some things. Very few things in life are completely black and white. Many things that we have today, whether it's electric vehicles, whether it's climate change, whether it's this, there's truth and there's false in everything. So, as a human being, I'd like people to use the resources. We have this tremendous resource to check things out. And you'll find that uh, uh, a lot of things fall into that gray area. They aren't totally one way or the other, or the truth has been manipulated in a way there. And yeah, Bonnie says, good start to the conversation. Keep your eyes and ears open. If I was just coming out of college, again, you have to always ask that question of what value can I add to the company, or if I'm going to start my own company, what can I do there? Because if you just sit back and expect to be taken care of, that's not a good situation. You have to embrace this technology. You have to figure out where you can add value. And there is a tremendous amount of value because it's the opportunities of improving jobs, improving life, improving all this stuff is almost limitless because the three things for AI, computers keep getting better, faster, the CPUs are out there and cheaper. The data, we have access to tons of data, even more data. In my home, I have smart devices, I have cameras. Well, I have access to all those things triggering and all kinds of other things there. So you have all this data around you, and then the algorithms or the software to enable the data on that, and it's really an exciting time there, I think. Any other question or comment? And if you do have other questions, certainly, at least at the question and answer that we have next month, or any future month, there we can talk about that too. And there's a lot of truths out there, and there's a lot of false things out there, both from the AI perspective and what it does and what it doesn't do, and things like that there, and I challenge everybody to kind of dig into some of these things, and you'll find that a lot of them fall into that gray area. They aren't a black and white truth there. And there's lots of good articles. I think Richard is pointing out. Take a look at the stuff there. You also have to, I'm a doubting Thomas, I'm skeptical. So when I hear somebody like Elon Musk saying, Elon Musk doesn't do anything unless there's something in there for Elon Musk. So when he says, well, I'd like this to pause here, well, guess what? He's still doing development outside the United States. So if he can stop development here, that may give him a leg up compared to some of the other companies and things like that. So be very leery of some of these people when they talk about what they think should be done. And yeah, the deep fakes of doing a video, it would take me a matter of minutes to create a video of Barack Obama uh, espousing facts on anything under the sun. That's how easy it is, and it doesn't take sophisticated hardware. The software is already out there, and like I say, years ago you could do it, but it'd take a lot of time and effort. Now it doesn't take a lot of time and effort, so people do have to be leery of these things and what they think and see there. The regulated part of it, the first question I ask anybody that says that they want the U.S. government or they want something to regulate it, I say, what are you going to regulate? So how well have you been in the dark web? Have you shut down trafficking of guns and buying and selling? Have you shut down cryptocurrency transactions? What do you think that you're going to regulate? Doesn't mean that there's risks, and like I pointed out, lots of risks out there. But just throwing around the word regulate, when I hear the word regulate, all I see is hiring a bunch of people in either in local, state, or federal offices, sitting there twiddling their thumbs, making hundreds of thousands of dollars doing nothing. I'm a consultant. Hire me as a consultant. I'll consult. I'll solve your problems. What problem are you going to fix? How are you going to fix it? And if you can't tell me that, you don't have a job and you shouldn't get paid. If all your title is, I'm here to help you, I'm from the government, that's not good there. Oh, the colorization. Yeah, the photo colorization is part of MyHeritage. With the free account, you can do a limited number of conversions, and it puts a watermark on your photo. If you have a MyHeritage account, you can buy it for a month and convert a whole bunch or do whatever there. But yeah, there are ways of doing it. There are other sites out there that colorize that also do it for free. Unlimited number of photos. So if that's something that you're interested in, certainly I'd check around there. I had talked and done a presentation on the MyHeritage quite a few years ago, because MyHeritage started it, I don't know, 8 years ago or 9 years ago. part of when they converted it, if you do have that that metadata in the JPEG files, usually it strips all that metadata out. So I found a way to take the metadata and add it back in. So on all my photographs, I put years, I put tags of people that are in there. I have a geographic locations are in there, and these are for photos that were taken 100 years ago. So I put all that information into metadata of my photographs, and most of these sites, when they do a conversion, will just convert the photo. They don't bring along the metadata. So, but there are ways of copying that metadata from one existing file to another file there. But figure out what you want to do and then look for a solution that'll do what you want to do. And there's all kinds of ways to do everything there. Any other question? Or almost to 1 o'clock. We'll end it at 1 here. Okay, I had officially ticked over to 1 o'clock, so I think we'll end it here. Yeah, the questions could go on all day. I have numerous discussions with friends and other people on AI and some of these topics, and I'm not going to resolve them all. I just want people to be open and look at the possibilities. And when I mention friend or foe of AI, it truly is this case of I'm not afraid of AI, but go in with your eyes open on what it can do and be that doubting Thomas when you see something. Don't immediately react to a new video or something unless you're absolutely sure that this video is 100% accurate there. Okay, thanks for joining. We'll see you next time. If you do have any questions, join the question and answer, or you can send them along at any time. We'll see you later then. Bye.